failed border czar, and yes, that's what she is. Like it or not, Kamala Harris is the failed border czar. She selected Midwestern governor, Army veteran, demoted Army veteran, and former football coach and teacher Tim Walz of Minnesota to be her running mate in 24. After a hurried, intense 2-week vetting process, many believe she may have made a mistake by going past Josh Shapiro. Progressive Democrats, however, praising Walz's strong support for unions and a record of so-called accomplishments as governor, which include codifying abortion rights into the state constitution, making Minnesota a so-called refuge, a sanctuary city and state for children seeking transgender medical procedures like radical disfigurement surgeries and powerful chemicals. But on the other side, what about his economic policies? Experts at the National Taxpayers Union have given Walz a failing grade in 8 out of his 11 years as a U.S. representative for Minnesota's 1st District. Here to discuss it and how those grades are determined by the experts, the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Brandon, nice to see you. Come on down. You're the next contestant. Look, Walz is a guy who, by the way, was demoted in the military. Nobody seems to be reporting that, but the Minnesota National Guard confirms he was demoted, calling into question his entire military bio that he shares with people. He brags about a lot of things, what's true, what's not true. What I know is this. He put his boot down during COVID harder than almost any governor in America and held on to that power longer than about any governor in America. He was brutal, caused businesses to fail and kids to stay at home. I know that. What about the rest of his economic performance?
Yeah, it's not too hot. You know, I think at this point in the campaign, Kamala ought to have been moving to the center. That's what James Carville said. That's what virtually every political observer said. If you want to win this election, you need to tack to the center where all the voters are. Instead, she decided to move her ticket to the left by picking Walz over what I would argue are more qualified candidates with better track records like Shapiro, Kelly, Bashir in Kentucky. All of these folks, I think, would have helped her make a good argument to voters in the center who don't know which way they want to go in November. But here we are. She moved the ticket to the left, and I think the people rejoicing are the labor unions, are possibly a lot of Republicans, because I think it's going to make it more difficult for her to connect with center-of-the-road voters. Walz, as you said, did horribly on our scorecard. He was in Congress for 12 years. We have enough data on him to give him 11 scores. Of those 11, 8 were Fs. 2 were Ds. He got as low as 3% out of a score of 100. He got a 3% once in 2007. So not a great record when it comes to standing up for taxpayers and voting for lower taxes, less government, and smaller. 3%. Yeah, it's. I mean, 3%. It's like they joke with the SAT. If you just write your name on the thing, you get a few points, right? He barely was able to clear that bar here. So, you know, to his credit, He got 2 Ds. He got 2 Ds, but yeah, most of the time he was scoring Fs on behalf of taxpayers, and that's just a real disappointment when it comes to tax policy, when it comes to spending policy. We saw that reflected in his tenure, his ongoing tenure as the governor, where he's raised the gas tax, where he's restricted.
Well, let me ask you this, because. Do you do this for members of Congress as well? See, because what I'm getting at here, in reading his bio, because I wasn't particularly familiar with this guy, right? I think 9 out of 10 Americans said they never heard of him. And I'm one of those folks. I may not have heard of him, but I think he's to the left of Bernie Sanders. I think he's to the left of Kamala Harris. I think he's to the left of Karl Marx, potentially. I mean, this guy is to the left, way over there. So getting 3%, how does that compare to other well-known liberals or leftists or progressives?
Well, it varies a lot from year to year, but Bernie Sanders has certainly gotten low scores virtually every time. Elizabeth Warren, all of those folks tend to get scores, in the 10%, sometimes in the single digits, but it varies a lot from year to year.
But 3%.
Yeah, that's bad. We've had a few members who've gotten 0%. It's very, very rare, but it has happened.
It's possible,
on
but
rare
I mean,
occasions. It is possible.
Well, what you're telling me, Brandon, this guy is the worst of the worst. That's what you're telling me, right? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, again, he shifts the ticket to the left here, and progressives are very happy, but taxpayers should not be so happy when it comes to energy policy, when it comes to tax policy, when it comes to the size of government. He presided over the largest budget in Minnesota history as governor. So I think we should be very, very concerned, and I think Kamala made a mistake here.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? All right, thank you for being here very much. Thank you so much. Look.